Good morning, Sam.
Good evening, Mallory.
Welcome back to Nobody Leaves, the podcast where nobody's allowed to leave and we're all trapped in here and we're not allowed to get out and nothing is allowed to happen that we don't say happens. Like one of us has to say what happens and the other has to do it, or the other has to say it and the other has to do it. So Sam, how's your week?
So, we invented the podcast together, and I still don't know what you just said. I have no idea
I'm just kind of
what you
giving
were trying to
people
get
a primer,
across.
You know, I want to get people up to date on
It's episode 9. We're watching One Piece.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yo. So
you asked for a short subject, and I said, all right, I got one for you.
Mm-hmm.
The entirety of One Piece. We can't leave until we finish all of it.
We can't leave until we finish all of it. And we totally did. So anyway.
That thumbnail won't be suspicious at all.
So Sam, I think for our warm up we should talk about the real Blackbeard. That's my pitch for
Edward Teach.
Yeah, okay. So that was gonna be my first quiz question is what's his real name?
I have now completed my Blackbeard knowledge in real life.
Yeah, all right. I've also exhausted all of my Blackbeard quiz questions. So let's
He went up and down the East Coast, I think.
He went up and down the East Coast of the United States?
I think so.
Why?
Wasn't his ship crashed or sunk off the coast of Virginia or North Carolina or something?
Oh, wait, I think I heard something about that. Do you think he's the reason why Virginia disappeared? Remember Virginia from history?
Yeah, it was weird. Virginia was there one day, and then the next it was just gone. And you have to go through Kentucky and West Virginia and all that. It's just really
a little girl. It was from that series. There was a book series talking about missing children, and one of them was Virginia, and she joined with this Native Americans tribe, and
Are you talking about Roanoke?
Roanoke. Yeah. Do you think Blackbeard was behind that?
Okay. Was there just a kid series? This it does vaguely sound familiar. Was it a modern day Roanoke tribe?
No, it was about these missing children, and they travel through time, and they have to kind of put themselves back or something, and this secret organization gathered all of these missing children, and they forgot who they really are, and then they have to go back in time and relive and assimilate into their past lives and solve some sort of mystery or something.
I read this and I don't remember anything about it.
See, that's why this is good, because as much as me and Sam have obviously very divergent interests, and that's the premise of this podcast, I feel our roots
we had the
are
same childhood,
and it's
yes.
in this stupid ass YA fucking fiction concept,
dumbass YA novel series, and then man, I've got to watch Naruto at 9 p.m. on Toonami. It's got to happen Saturday night.
Yeah. This is when I'm in a group of all of our friends and I throw out a 39 Clues reference. Sam is one of the only ones that's
I have read the entirety of the first series of the 39 Clues.
You've
you've
gotten
books.
all 39.
I have. They were sold at a yard sale years ago, but I did at one point read those.
Okay, so
Did you ever read the one that was a video series and a book series where you could go onto a website and it was a ghost story? There was something about stolen gold or something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I feel
they had a weird slipcover.
That's what 39 Clues was though. I feel all these book series they were trying to add new little fun websites and stuff.
ARGs basically.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got Blackbeard quiz, Terror of the Seas Blackbeard quiz ready.
Hit me.
So what was
with my knowledge of One Piece, I'll be able to do it.
What was Blackbeard's real name? Sure, easy. That's Edward Teach. All right.
Yes.
When was Blackbeard born?
Is it multiple choice?
Oh yeah. Sorry. So it's
2005. I don't know. He's Gen Alpha.
1682, 1683, 1685. Date and year are unknown.
Boy, I really thought there were going to be more of a variety of those
Yeah.
years.
I feel like
I'm going to say date unknown.
Yeah, that feels right to me. What was Blackbeard's final ship called? That's cool.
The Saber of Zebek.
No, I know this. I think it's the first choice, which is Queen Anne's Revenge.
Queen Anne's Revenge is a Blackbeard ship, I think, for
it's
sure.
It's a Blackbeard ship, but yeah, is it the final ship? That's cool.
What are the other options?
Do you ever wonder what your final ship will be?
The Nobody Leaves podcast.
That's true, because we won't be allowed to leave. The Adventure, the Black Hand, or the Jolly Roger?
I think it is the Queen Anne's Revenge. I don't know if he had that many ships.
I don't think the Adventure. I don't think he had a ship called the Adventure, because that's fucking stupid.
Isn't a Jolly Roger just like the emblem on a flag?
Yeah. The idea that he would name his ship the Jolly Roger is like the pirate ship. It's like, okay, dude, come on.
It's a little pretentious, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's like
How
a
many more
dating
questions
app.
are on this quiz?
It's like a dating app called Dating. Okay. There's 10 questions on the quiz. Question number 4. Where did Blackbeard's final battle take place? Ocracoke Inlet, off Havana, Cuba, Finisterre, France, Vigo, Spain.
I think it was Ocracoke.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we know him to. We know he was there.
Right.
We know he was in the area. Although Spotswood planned the capture of Blackbeard, who actually carried it out? Spotswood?
There's not a One Piece character named Spotswood, so I don't know.
Robert Maynard, Charles Eden, Benjamin Hornigold, Edward Teach. Edward Teach did not play in the fucking...
They almost got us.
They almost got me with that.
Those tricky BuzzFeed quiz creators.
Dude, if Edward Teach carried out the kidnapping of Blackbeard, like a Jekyll and Hyde. He's just like...
Was Edward Teach like the nerdy version of Blackbeard, and then Blackbeard's the alter ego?
Yeah, he's like walking through the streets to his job at like the tailors or whatever, and he hears like the rustle of gold, and he goes, all right. He's like his beard starts to sprout.
It starts to grow.
Yeah. He's like ugh.
Wasn't Blackbeard's thing that he was like ugly, and then he intimidated anti-pirate sailors, like Navy people, by being just like scary?
I know
his beard would be like on fire.
Yeah, that's the main thing I know, is that he put like little fires in his beard, and he would put like lit cigarettes out on his beard or something. Matches. That was it. He would put matches in his beard. That's cool. I feel like
he's just a big fat guy in One Piece.
He doesn't even put matches in his beard in One Piece.
No, he just wears pistols, even though no one's died by gunfire in this series except for Nami's mom. I can't think of anyone getting shot and it working.
I can't believe they shot Nami's mom. That's really messed up. I don't think
she's adopted. It's fine.
Dang. I think it's Robert Maynard, because I don't know any of these other people.
I have heard that name before, so therefore.
Hey, big hint about number 5. Question number 6. What was Robert Maynard's ship called? I'm thinking this Robert Maynard.
The Blackbeard capturer.
Might be
the claw.
Blackbeard's vein.
The comb.
The comb. The razor. HMS Prince Royal, HMS Pearl, HMS Victory, HMS Triumph.
The Prince Royal.
Yeah, that's the coolest one. That sounds like a James Bond maybe.
The Triumph sounds like something that people would name a boat at that time as well, though.
Dude, question number 7 is, what rank was Robert Maynard when he captured Blackbeard?
This is a Robert Maynard quiz. I don't know anything about this guy.
But I'm also it gives away the answer to question number 5 about who captured Blackbeard. It's like, where?
This quiz is bullshit.
This is not a good quiz. This is on funtrivia.com, by the way. This is not a BuzzFeed quiz.
This is coolmathgames.blackbeard.exe.
Coolblackbeardgames.com. Sorry, this is the most fun I've had. What rank was he? Lieutenant Commander, Commodore, Lieutenant, Admiral.
I'm gonna go with Commodore.
Commodore sounds cool as hell.
Because Blackbeard is referred to as a Commodore in One Piece, and so maybe he's both sides of the same coin.
Whoa, he's like Robert Maynard and Blackbeard occupying one soul. That's cool.
Exactly. There's a certain tier of pirate called the Four Emperors, and Blackbeard's one of them, and they're all referred to not as pirate for whatever reason. And that gets broken later on, but like, it's a weird bit. That's like a weird little detail.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with One Piece is, man. That's crazy. He sounds like he's a very different character from real life.
He is.
Okay, this is a cool question. You'll like this one. How many shots and cuts did Blackbeard die with? 3 shots, no cuts.
39 clues.
39 clues.
You must track down every sword cut that Blackbeard suffered in order to gain his power.
I want people to do like JFK recreations, like simulators of like every bullet, all 39 bullets that entered Blackbeard's dome. 20 shots, 5
using
cuts.
3D modeling.
Wait, okay, we can figure this out. Okay, 3 shots, no cuts. 25 cuts, no shots. 20 cuts, 20 shots, 5 cuts, or 5 shots, 20 cuts. It's probably one of those two, right?
Yeah, I think it's C or D.
Do you think he got shot 5 times or shot 20 times?
I think he got shot 5 times.
Yeah, probably. I think
if you got shot 20 times in that time period, you just like turned to dust, you know?
I think as cool as his beard was and as gross as his face was, probably, I don't think that he could survive more than 5 shots. When Maynard cut off Blackbeard...
So you just like not have an interesting week? I mean, like, why are we doing a Blackbeard quiz?
Look, we gotta get to the end of the Blackbeard quiz at this point, okay? When Maynard cut off Blackbeard's head after his death, where did he put it?
His head?
Yeah.
You threw it in the ocean. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the first choice, so yeah, I think that's probably what it is. Where was Blackbeard's ship found in 1996?
North Carolina, I think.
Ocracoke Inlet, Beaufort, North Carolina, Jamaica, England. Probably not one of those.
I think it was in North Carolina, but it might have been Ocracoke. Or has it? I thought they had never found it, or maybe they only found pieces of it or something.
Do you think it's a conspiracy? Do you think this is like Blackbeard?
I think I haven't learned about Blackbeard since I was 6th grade, so it's probably just lack of information. But that everyone treats that as a conspiracy these days, so you know it's fine.
Yeah, when there's
I don't understand this thing. It must be corruption.
I feel like it might be Beaufort because they list Beaufort, North Carolina, like with a comma. That seems like really like they put effort into.
I do not know where Beaufort is.
Okay, I'm submitting my answers. Are you nervous?
I'm terrified. What's a passing grade? 7 out of 10?
7 out of 10, yeah. Okay. Edward Teach, date and year unknown. Blackbeard's final ship was called the Adventure.
That's stupid.
That is stupid. But I'm going to have to dock you points, Blackbeard. You're going to get dock some points.
Blackbeard, you lose creativity there.
Ocracoke Inlet, Robert Maynard. The Robert Maynard ship was called the HMS Pearl, apparently, not the Prince Royale.
The Black Pearl.
He was a lieutenant. Okay, so we got 3 wrong. So if we get any more wrong, we fail the Blackbeard quiz. I'm really nervous.
We're going to have to retake it.
We're going to have to do it.
We have to come back to the DMV podcast studio and retake it if we want to get our driver's license.
We were correct about the amount of shots and cuts that he died with.
Okay.
Oh man, he did not throw it into the ocean. He put it on the bowsprit.
He took it back to England or something?
What is the bowsprit?
He did what?
He put it on the bowsprit of the ship.
I don't know what that means. Is that like the front of the ship?
I mean like the bow. The bow. That sounds like
like a wood, like where the wooden carving goes.
The bow,
like the mermaid. Yeah.
Okay.
Or like a goat head, if you're cool.
Oh, we were right about Beaufort, North Carolina. Okay, so we got 6 out of 10. So, I mean, that was a pretty good showing for the Blackbeard quiz overall, but we did fail.
We'll have to take it again next week until we pass.
Sorry, that was really fun. Did you have fun with that?
Are you going to study? No.
I'll study about Edward Teach. You didn't have fun? I feel
How'd you make a One Piece episode not fun for me? Like, what are you doing?
we gotta get a Blackbeard quiz in there, But if I was alive during Blackbeard's time and I thought his beard was really cool and smoking, I would probably have to write him a fan letter.
So you had no week otherwise? It's just we're just into the show.
Did you have a week? I haven't been watching.
I watched all of Severance. It's really good.
Watched all of Severance. That's
I can talk about that on a different week, but damn, it's good.
Yeah.
I see why people cared about it so much.
Who's the guy in Severance who was in Parks and Rec? Who's like the main guy?
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. Maybe if you want to talk about Severance, you can send him a fan letter.
This was supposed to be my episode. This is supposed to be the One Piece episode. You're ruining it. You're ruining everything.
Okay. Do you want to actually transition? Or do you want to actually talk about Severance? Because I think I've been pretty.
No, we're skipping it. I come here. I finally have watched something between weeks of just editing Tokyo Ghoul manga panels, and it's like, let's talk about nothing. Let's talk about Blackbeard quizzes.
I just feel like it's a good quiz. So Sam, what did I think of One Piece fan letter? It was pretty cool.
So Mallory, I had an idea, right? I said I want you to watch One Piece, but I don't like watching One Piece, like the anime adaptation. I think it's kind of slow and badly paced, and I don't like the editing style of it for the most part. But I can't have you read 1,100 chapters of a manga in a week. So, One Piece fan letter. I'd heard good things. It's really great. I think it's like interesting. But I want to hear what you think about it, Mallory.
Yeah.
Especially as someone who has not seen One Piece, right, or read it, or what have you. Like, bits and pieces, osmosis, what have you. But were you able to follow along in this 24-minute OVA?
Yeah, it's definitely, I feel like my main takeaway is that it's a bunch of little guys just kind of running around, like, just kind of bumping into each other, and that's good. Like, any show or, like, anime or something like that, where it's just, like, everyone's just, like, and, like, that's like, fun. I feel like I was able to decently follow it. I think probably the part that was most, all right, so One Piece spoilers, Ace dies in One Piece. So he's the brother of Monkey D. Luffy.
Correct.
Okay. So that was the only part.
And 2 years before this OVA, there was a big war about saving Ace, and they did not save him.
It was about saving Ace?
Yes, it was. Because
Whoa.
Ace is the quote-unquote son of Whitebeard. He's actually the son of someone else.
Blackbeard? Sorry.
No. But Whitebeard said, I'm going to save my son, because he calls all of his crew his son, which is really his sons, which is really cute. And Whitebeard is really strong. And so Whitebeard said, I'm going to just fight the entire world government to get my son back before he's executed.
Damn.
And then they fail. But It is very fun basically every single character you've met up until this point, except for the Straw Hat crew, minus Luffy, who is there, all come together in this big bad fight, and it's really cool.
Whoa.
And they're either fighting the world government or fighting with the world government. And almost every single character you meet in One Piece up until like the 450 chapter, I think, somewhere around there, are all in this battle. And it takes place like really fast, and it's like a 30 chapter mini arc that is really exciting. And that's where our brother Marine characters are flashing back to in the OVA.
They're on the ice. That was the only part that I got confused, because when he was like talking about how he, thanks to Monkey D. Luffy, his brother survived, but Monkey D. Luffy lost his brother. I don't know why I feel like I have to use his full name, but he lost.
I don't know either. You have to use his legal name.
Monkey Donkey Luffy. He did lose his brother. That was the only part I got confused. There was a brief moment where I thought, do they have a third brother? But I figured it out, So was all good. Yeah, nothing else like I feel like was that confusing. I feel like my exposure to One Piece, a lot of it has been the Wikipedia article because it's kind of just good to like look. Like I like teams, you know what I mean? Like I like crews and groups and stuff like that. I'm very drawn to that. And I think that's like one of the coolest things when you see One Piece. You're like, wow, look, they're all different shapes and sizes and they have their own color or whatever. Like I'm a very like Power Rangers kid. Like that just like makes something click in my brain. So I feel like I've always looked and had passing knowledge about like different aspects of like the main characters and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of the like references and stuff I was able to get like but like I'm sure I missed a lot more and like some of the
this thing is so jam packed with details. Like I'm watching it going, what was the bird again? Like why are they on a bird? Like this is not an arc I remember that well because it's just like smack dab in the middle of the story, and I haven't read it. I haven't done a full read through of One Piece since I first caught up. But yeah, One Piece lends itself very well to that scratch the itch. I just want there to be like a cool cast of characters who all have like a stats page.
Yes.
Like all the crew members have a role. Like Sanji's the cook and Nami's the navigator, and they all have bounties, and they all have different abilities, and some of them have devil fruits, and yeah, it's satisfying.
Usopp's doing that marksman thing. Sanji's cooking. Chopper's doctoring.
There you go.
That's the main thing I also know is I love that song and I sing it all the time, and it's a good song.
Probably like every American child's like first exposure to One Piece is the One Piece rap. Yeah.
His name's a we like a samurai. That's a good song. All right, we should litigate this because
I feel
like
bad.
I feel like
I agree.
Okay, cool.
In my first ever YouTube video, I like defend the One Piece rap. I'm like, this song is it still slaps.
Yeah, anyone who's like, I'm a real One Piece, and I like the theme song where it's probably like sounds really cool and it's on guitar. Like whatever, man. I haven't even heard it. I don't care. Yayo yayo, come on, that's sick as hell.
The actual first opening is like iconic, and they do the thing where they play it like every 100 episodes. Like they'll play it in the episode, and it's always like they're playing the. Da 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 da, and it's like it is exciting, but it's
that's
like
cool.
I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was good. I really the animation like immediately I'm like, like it's moving, things are moving, they're good drawings, good colors, like it's bright and happy and was
it's
not
pretty.
A difficult watch at all. Like all of the like scenes that you would think would be boring, like the soldiers like out fighting in war, like it's just lit with like the blues of the ice and stuff. I'm like like I'm just smiling while I'm watching it the whole time. It very much reminded me of I'm big on like watching stuff that the Pokemon YouTube channel uploads. Like they're always making like these little animated
like that music video from like 6 years ago that is gorgeous.
Yeah, like they're always making stuff like that. I feel like obviously that was like the big one that went viral, but like I feel like that like kind of style that's very like it's kind of messy and everyone's like everything's moving around and like running around the page, but it's like really like visually captivating. Like that's definitely the highlight. And I would say as a non One Piece knower and non One Piece fan, it's a lovable little watch if you want to dip your toe in the all right, I'm leaving the podcast. The One Piece water.
You want to dip your toe in the love water? What are you talking about? Are we back on Heartstopper? What's going on?
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about dipping my toe in the love water. That's crazy, and I wouldn't say that.
We gotta go to get the love fruit and go to the Love Island and
yeah. What would your fruit be if you ate a One Piece fruit?
We're back to quizzes again. Do we need to get BuzzFeed pulled up? What are we doing?
We can talk about it.
Well, you mentioned about the Pokemon YouTube channel, and I think it scratches the same itch as this OVA, which is in long-running stories like this, it's like you never get time to actually just relax and see what the world feels like when like world-ending events or like clashes of will are happening, right? And those Pokemon shorts and that Pokemon music video is like, how do people interact with Pokemon when they're just kind of vibing out and chilling? And it's like the fighting gym leader is training under a waterfall with like a Machamp, and like
Yeah.
all those little details make it feel lived in, as opposed to like, I'm on the path to become the champion again, and I gotta fight the Elite Four, and I'm just doing this. Like, it makes it feel more lived in, and I think a lot of fan art takes that same style of like, I want to see like what like a restaurant sign would look like in the Pokemon universe, or like some of the trading cards I think do the same thing, where it's like, I want to see a Pokemon in their natural environment, like
or there's
Pelipper
so many
flying at the beach or something.
It's like a common theme where they like go back to having like Pokemon cards where it's like showing like the stages of the evolution and like the trainers like growing up or going through the phases of life and stuff like that. I feel like definitely very Pokemon expanded content coded. I feel like this OVA was,
right,
which definitely made it very
well. And so
enjoyable.
fan letter, right, is a perspective. I think the internet like became obsessed with this last year when it first came out, and I didn't watch it then, but I was drawn to it because the concept is really cool, which is like, let's show nameless, usually like almost faceless, like blobs in the background smear of an animation cell, characters that have nothing to do with anything, and like, let's see what like their life looks like when these like godlike beings are crashing into each other and tearing up cities. Like, almost every character in One Piece is a pirate or a marine or an important person. So getting the perspective of like a random like fodder marine, or a girl who has no powers and isn't a pirate and is just like living in a pretty populated like One Piece city, or someone who runs like a record shop, like these are just, or a comic shop, I think. These are not normally the characters you see in One Piece, and I think that's a fun perspective, particularly with the two Marine brothers, because like, what does this massive war where there's like a giant and a guy who can make earthquakes and a guy made of sand and a guy who can cut like 100 people with a sword in like 1 second, what does that look like when you're just like a dude with a gun and like a broken shoulder strap?
That, honestly, I feel like the scene where, like, I think I was a little unclear on what happened exactly, but did the big brother save the younger, or he, like, escaped?
The big brother is, like, pinned under ice, or, like, he's actually the younger brother, but I think, like, the brother who's, like, more successful, right, is pinned under ice, and the other brother whose perspective we follow is also pinned under the leg of a giant that's being killed in that scene. But then the ice shifts because of like how the battle's going, and I think the implication is like Luffy shifts the ice when he's just like jumping around fighting people, and he gets free, and then he's running away and like giving up on looking for his brother, and then he decides to go back, and then the two of them survive the battle, but like nearly at one point they're between the character Crocodile and the character Dracula Mihawk, who are fighting in that arc, and they're like about to be murdered, but they get pushed away. Because these people are moving like the Flash, like they are insanely fast and strong, and these guys just have no chance. Does that answer your question?
No, yes, absolutely, yeah. And I hate when I get cornered by Crocodile and Dracula Mihawk as well, but I feel like...
I hate when, like, the embodiment of Dracula, but he's also a swordsman, and a guy named Crocodile who can turn into sand are, like, fighting each other. It's the worst.
Dracula Mihawk sounds cool and could easily be in the running for my favorite One Piece character.
He is really dumb in some ways, because they introduce him like in like chapter 10, and it's like, this guy is the strongest swordsman in the entirety of One Piece.
Stronger than Zoro?
And he just shows, literally, like Zoro, his goal is to defeat Mihawk and become the strongest swordsman, right? And it's like, well, we got to introduce who the actual strongest swordsman is. And like, he walks through a scene so early in the story and basically like can essentially kill Zoro with like a look, damn near. Like, they have a little duel and Zoro almost gets killed, and it's like, that guy's the strongest swordsman. But the problem is, we're now 1,000 chapters in, and we've met a lot of really strong swordsmen, and we don't see Dracula Mihawk fight very often. So it's like, how is this guy going to be more powerful than like Whitebeard or other characters we've met? Like, Shanks is a swordsman, and it's like, is is Mihawk really that strong? Can he really be stronger than all these people we've met? And the answer is remains to be seen because he doesn't fight that often.
I believe in him. I feel like I'm becoming a Dracula Mihawk stan the more you're talking because Zora's the Sasuke of One Piece, so that would make Dracula Mihan the Itachi, which means he's the coolest guy ever, and he's probably gay and like limp wristed and like this. So I feel like probably he's really cool. Is my theory.
He does have Itachi energy, but it's also like, what if Itachi didn't fight until like 3 chapters from the end of Naruto? Like, would he really still? He kind of gets outpaced at some point, right? Like when there's like people throwing moons at each other.
Yeah, they do move on from Itachi at a pretty key moment in the story, I would say. So yeah, that makes sense. But anyway, the point I was gonna make about the fan letter is that I feel like that part, like, I didn't expect a scene like that just from how the story was going, I guess. To
the Saving Private Ryan of One Piece.
Yeah, like they're suddenly doing Saving Private Ryan stuff, and I'm like, whoa! But it's like I feel like it does a good job. Like you feel grounded in like the like world of like that scene and like the like same as like the conversation that they're having around the bar the entire time where they're arguing about who the best swordsman is and like
yes,
like you it feels very like this is like a day in the life or whatever in like all these different ways and like putting this like gravity to each of the different characters or like this thing got rescheduled and now I can't see like this guy in concert or whatever, like it's definitely very cool. I feel like who my favorite character is, which is the little snail,
the comic book shop lady,
the snail with the mustache like this, and I guess he's a phone. So we got to talk about
phone.
This. Yeah, you gotta.
Okay,
you gotta.
So
clear the
transponder snails.
Transponder snails
are essentially. Oh yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
They are essentially the cell phone of the One Piece universe. The Marines have somehow used this breed of snails to talk. They can talk within each other. And just as like an artistic representation of who's on the phone, they usually make the snail look like the person who's on the other end of the line.
Okay.
So the guy with the spindly mustache who's talking to the other Marine commander guy who's obsessed with Chopper, the reason the snail looks like that is because that's what that guy looks like. Just like in snail form.
All right. Okay, yeah.
He's not actually a snail.
Is not a snail? Okay, hold on.
No, it is a snail. That person is not a snail. Like
yes.
The voice coming out of the snail is not the snail.
Okay, yeah, I kind of got that it was
it is
like
a cell
phone call. Yeah, that is cool and interesting. And
yes, it is.
I like.
There's a lot of weird shit like that in One Piece.
Heavily featured, and there's stuff like that. Like at one point, a big grasshopper comes in, or a praying mantis, and I'm just kind of like, what is this? What am I watching? Like it's just.
I'll be honest.
Cool.
I also was like that because I forgot that there's like these giant monsters on this island. I'm like, oh yeah.
So it's just this island that there's just big bugs walking around.
There's big monsters in like multiple places, like multiple different islands in the world. But I remember this island having its shit together more than the average. So I was like, are there giant bug creatures on this archipelago? Like I don't remember.
I don't know, but I think it is a very good sales pitch for One Piece the series to a non-fan. I feel like because it's very like showing like anything can happen. Like there could be flying monkeys on the next page. You don't know. Like it's very like,
right.
Eclectic, and I feel like it's in a weird way, like because when you make like a short like this, like you're kind of flexing the power of like look at what we can do with an animation budget and all that kind of stuff. But like it's also like
how can we capture the spirit of this project in 24 minutes, but like get every bit of whimsy and magic that like that this world has and just like throw it at someone.
Exactly. It's like not only are you like flexing your animation budget, it's like you're flexing like look at all this cool stuff that we can do with this like world and this story or whatever. Like it's
imagine what's possible. Yeah.
It's really cool. It puts you right in it. Yeah, I mean, what did you think about it? Did you tear up at any part of it?
I almost teared up this morning rewatching some of it. I would like the bit where it's very nice, the like symbolism of the different puzzle pieces, right? Where it's like
Yes.
all these different characters who are nobodies but are somehow tangentially inspired by or interested in the Straw Hat crew, who just are like
Hmm.
at the margins of this story. They're each putting their puzzle pieces together, and it's all connecting and leading to this moment where this unnamed girl gets to see her hero, who is Nami, who I think is a very smart choice to be like this main character's idol, because Nami traditionally is like the weakest of the Straw Hat crew. Like, she doesn't have a devil fruit. She can't use hockey, which is this other like fighting style thing. Like, there are Straw Hats who are like the main fighters, and there are Straw Hats who kind of run around and commentate on what's going on. And she's definitely in the later pile with like Usopp.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, she's been able to roll with this crew who has done like earth-shattering, world-defining events for years and years and years, and she's like the third member of the crew originally, and she holds her own despite being like, I'm just a girl, right? And so like this, having this kind of nobody throwaway, no name fangirl obsessed with Nami and be inspired by her, that like, even though there are all these big scary marines and like pirates and bandits running around and grasshopper people, she can still like make a difference. And I think that's like a very special and fun idea. Anyone can be a pirate, anyone can be Spider-Man, you know?
Yeah. I mean, no, I definitely got that. And like that's the part that like I felt tears welling up like a couple times while I was watching it, like in just very like I feel like it moves so fast that it's like there and it's gone. So I'm like, okay, hold on a minute, don't ruin my makeup, but like I feel like like
It's like,
uh that was one of the parts where I was like because like I don't know, I feel like when she's like yelling about it when they're in the like room where they're trapped in the like shop because of the giant the
right.
praying mantis is really like a big part of the but is it
For
praying
some
mantis
reason,
or
yeah,
Gaza?
it really, I think it's praying mantis, right?
Yeah. But yeah, when they're being trapped in there, like, and she like articulates like the reason why she's like inspired by Nami and stuff. Like, I feel like it's such a
Mhm.
they really put like the importance of representation into words. And I know everyone like we all get it. You know, we've read the Substack articles, but I feel like like hearing
Well, like
someone
it's
express
interesting that like this
yeah,
team who made this OVA, like that's a deliberate choice, right? And it's addressing a part
yeah,
of One Piece that often doesn't quite get there in the actual story in the series, right? Like, representation in One Piece is a little tricky when it comes to gender, and like a lot of women characters are weaker or are like presented as more like sex symbols and not so much as like cool important fighters. And there are exceptions to that rule, and I think Nami's a great character. I think Robin, who's the other woman on the crew, is like an amazing character, probably my favorite Straw Hat. But it hasn't always been the best, so it's cool that this OVA is both like making like it's in the Nami fan club, much like the girl that the story focuses on, right? And I think that's very sweet.
Yeah, no, it's really cool, and it's like nice to see that. But yeah, like I mean, I obviously don't know as much about like the original One Piece story, so it may be painting like a more optimistic like portrayal of like how that representation actually goes down in the series. Like, I mean, it was still I think part of me, perhaps naively, expected them to not do the thing where they draw like her waist like this and her chest like
Nope.
this when she appeared.
You are gonna get that no matter what.
And I was kind of like, "Oh, okay." Like when it did actually happen, and it's unrealistic because like there's only like unfortunately like in the real world, like when it comes to girls with waists like that and breasts like that, it's only me. So I mean, it's like unfair to kind of like hold other people to that standard.
Yeah, it's just it's an unrealistic standard, right? It's like Mallory 1 of 1.
Yeah, it's like so I feel like that that's unfortunate. I really kind of was like, because like I feel like sometimes these like fan things they can take it like, and we're gonna draw her how we imagine her, but
Right. But the
yeah.
series is going to portray Nami. Like, Nami wears a bikini for, like, the majority of the series, especially after the time skip, which that's where this OVA is taking place, is, like, the Straw Hats reuniting post a 2-year time skip, like, the only time skip in the series.
And that's it.
And Nami comes back, and it's like,
yeah.
she's got bigger boobs, even though she was almost, like, a full adult already, and then she's wearing a bikini, and it's like... That's kind of her power up, and it's like, that's not great. Like, the other characters got much cooler things. Like, Zoro comes back and he's missing an eye, and
he's missing
Luffy
an
can
eye.
Do it as, like, yes, and you never know why. He just comes back and he's just one of his eyes is gone. Nope,
they don't know.
You're never gonna know.
That's cool.
Get over it.
For Nami.
And Robin comes back and she's now white, and that's kind of weird. But
that also struck me. I did not expect her to be as white as she, because like there was the woman who's working at like the comic book shop, and like I'm like, oh, she's like kind of a parallel to Robin or something, and like looks a lot like her. And then you see Robin like back to back, and you're like, whoa, okay, like I don't know. I feel like we talked about that, like the weird stuff that happened in the time skip. That's like
there's strangeness to that. Like, some of that is that the One Piece anime portrayed Robin darker than the manga necessarily did, but there's also like official colored art, like color spreads that were like Robin does look different than she does post time skip in a way that is weird, and people I think generally agree that like her pre-time skip appearance is both more interesting and also like at least like black coded, as opposed to she's just another white person like on the crew after the fact.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing about like the going back to the like Nami bikini thing. Like I remember seeing like her design like preset, and like it's really cool. Like I really like her.
I like her pre-design a lot better.
Shirt with like the little tie thing or whatever, and like the like I don't know, like she
blue and white shirt and like the shorts, and it's like that's like a good look.
Yeah, and it, like she's still like sexy or whatever, but it's like it's cool. She's like a cool rough pirate, and like that's not the vibe that I get from her. Like, I
agree.
Yeah,
and even pre-time skip, like she's the character who has like the least defined look. Like she changes outfits every arc, like no matter what.
Interesting.
And they kind of do that for every character these days, but like back in the day, it was like Nami's gonna get the new sexy outfit, and everyone else is just gonna be kind of running around in their normal like clothes, and that happens pretty frequently throughout like the pre-time skip era of One Piece, which is like I don't know.
Well, come on now.
But then fan letter's great.
But yeah, fan letter is cool, and I mean it was definitely like, yeah, I don't remember seeing breasts, so good job. That's how you tell if it's a good anime.
Indeed. And I don't want to say like Nami
this is gender
has
theory.
great
this
moments.
This is a really good analysis.
Nami has great moments in the manga. One Piece in general has a problem where like there's 10 or so crew members, so it's like some characters go long stretches of time without being in a fight or having a big moment or having a chance to like show off why they're a part of the crew or why they're important or why they're cool. Like, as it's gone along, more arcs will do a thing where it's like 4 or 5 of the crew members are just going to kind of go over here and not be involved that heavily in what's going on.
Right.
But a lot of times they'll get little moments where I'm like, this character's great. Like Nami has a moment in Wano, which is like one of the biggest arcs in the series, where she's fighting someone who is just going to kill her. Like there's no possibility that she can win this fight. This person's like incredibly strong, and she does not win this fight. But the person is like, just say that Luffy's not going to be Pirate King, and I will let you live. And she's like, can't do it. He's going to be Pirate King. And she's like crying, and like it's a comedic bit, but it's also like so true to her character, because like Usopp's right there and he's like, just say it. It's fine. We can just say it. It's fine. We don't believe it. Because Usopp's the liar, right? And Nami's just like, it just has this panel that cuts to her, and she's just like the face is drawn very funny, but she's like crying because she's like, I'm so screwed. But she's like, he's definitely gonna be Pirate King, and then she's like about to get murdered because of that, and it's like a good like little Nami moment. And those are like sprinkled throughout the series of like, oh, I love these characters.
Yeah.
But there is a tendency for like the character to be introduced, to be really interesting in the arcs focusing on them, and then to just kind of fade to the background of the crew for like long stretches of time.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it's tough to an extent to juggle like a ensemble cast that's like that big,
Right.
you know, like I think.
Well, and most arcs also introduce like their own casts, so it's like we're dealing with the citizens of this island, or we're dealing with like some pirates who we've met before who were involved in this specific story, and so you get a lot of like, yeah, but I really want to see what Usopp's doing, or I really want to see what Frankie's doing, or you know.
Yeah, that's that. I really got that vibe from like the intro. Like they really like did like I think they're just like flashing through like all this stuff that I was like, I'm sure this is references to every corner of the world. But yeah, like I really like from just looking at the characters and seeing how designed they are. You're like, okay, like this is a like
this person was important at some point for like 100 chapters, and now they're gone.
Yeah, like this is a series full of characters, which I think makes it like ripe for like a little fun fan thing like this, which was cool. Yeah,
I really like the comparison you did to that the Pokemon Channel shorts, but like it's making me think of that Pokemon music video, like the Bump of Chicken one, and it's like that does the same thing, right? Where it's like we're gonna show every gym leader that's ever been in Pokemon, but in like 4 seconds, and it's like, oh, that's great, you know?
Yeah.
And every rival and all these different like One Piece has like as many characters as there are Pokemon. Like there's just so many people.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah, no, it's definitely like the more we're talking, the more appealing One Piece is becoming, because it's like, you know, it's fun to like have like you're like here's these 10 guys, and then they line up against these 10 guys, and each one is a foil to shit. Like I don't know, something about that. It's like makes the
Makes the brain tingle.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend about Beyblade this week earlier, in like the Beyblade anime, and my like when I was a kid, and it's like I don't know, it's like you have the 4 main guys, and every single arc they fight 4 other guys, and each one is a foil to the 4. You know, they're always getting paired against like just different.
It's weird that we keep fighting 4 other people.
Yes, every single time. There's because it's like it makes sense when they're in the Beyblade tournament. It's like you have to have 4 people to enter or whatever. But then like it's like, oh, we've been kidnapped and we're on an island with these like cyborg people or whatever, and there's 4 of them. It's like, okay,
it's why tournament arcs work so well, right? Where it's like, I want to see this. How does the bug guy fight the guy who uses sound powers? How does the shadow guy fight the girl who uses wind powers? Like it's just it's exciting.
It's
and
something
those like
that,
combinations are so fun.
Yeah, I'm glad. Like I feel like this is what we're bringing to this. This needs to get mentioned more in media criticism, because I don't
The
think
tuning exams.
RogerEbert.com has not covered the tuning exams, because it's like, I don't know. I think there is that primal instinct, like you just have like 2 little cars and you're like smashing them together, or like, you know what I mean?
One Piece excels at that, right?
Yeah, like
because it's also 1,100 chapters long, so you'll be like, and for the most part, characters are one and done. Like you visit an island, you have some fun times with these characters, you make friendships that are gonna last forever, and then you set sail and you never see those people again. But then every once in a while, it cuts back to those people, and they're reading a newspaper going, wow, Luffy's still at it, huh? That's crazy.
That's my Luffy.
And every once in a while, a character will also be journeying forward like the Straw Hats, and they'll meet again. And it's like, I haven't seen you in 700 chapters. What's going on? And it does tickle all those parts of your brain that are like, wouldn't it be cool if Vivi was reintroduced? Or like, it's a good time. Did I ever tell you the the fact about One Piece that got me to read it?
No, this is like this is like the is like forbidden knowledge.
It's like the Lovecraft story where, like, if you read that
Yes!
play, like, you go crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a creepypasta. It's like if you download this GIF and look at it, you'll go insane within 5 days. Yeah. Okay.
I think One Piece has a few of those. Like, there's just random little factoids you can drop, like the snails or the phones, and you just like, that sounds really fun.
Yeah.
I heard a long time ago in a Super Eye Patch Wolf video about One Piece that I was watching just for the hell of it, before I followed the series, and it's like, hey, you know One Piece, you know how it has like, 1,000 million characters and like more characters than there are Pokemon or whatever? You ever notice how none of them have an eye patch?
Wait, does even Roronoa no Zoro have no eye patch?
No, he lost an eye, but he just has it closed and has like a streak down. Yeah.
Are they
There has
saving
never
it?
been a character in One Piece with an eye patch.
Are they saving it for like Eye Patch Williams?
Yes.
Dude.
Oda has said in like an interview from like 2003, either someone asked him or he just dropped it as a bit of lore. He's like, yeah, I've never drawn a pirate with an eye patch, and I will at some point, and there's a reason for that. And I'm just like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Like, that's like 27 years of like not drawing an eye patch. Like, pirates are hard to draw. Like, it's like the main thing. It's like you got the big hat and the feather and the eye patch. Like,
Luffy
and a hook hand. There have been hook hand characters. There have been characters with cool hats. There's trench coats and all this, capes, but no eye patch.
Where's my? I gotta get my game theory hat on. I think Luffy is gonna get his.
I heard that fact and I was like, I have to read One Piece immediately. Like, I gotta know why.
What do you think? Do you think it's Luffy? Do you think his eye will get cut out in the end when he gets to the Grand Line?
At this point, I'm like, is the One Piece an eye patch? Like, I don't know. Because you can always tie everything back to like what is the One Piece. Like, there's at one point someone really convinced me for a minute that the One Piece was the moon, and I was like, okay, it could be anything. Mallory, do you know that there's an army of robots on the moon in One Piece, and they're just not that important, but they're just there? Like, what does it mean?
Damn it. Let's figure out. What do you think the One Piece is? Do you think it's the fan letter? I thought she was gonna rip the fan letter, and the letter was gonna fly out of the paper and magically land in Nami's hands, and she was gonna go, huh? And then that's the last.
I like how they do it, where like because it's a non-canon story, right? So it's like they can't actually like influence the Straw Hats in any way.
Mm-hmm.
But the girl gets closure. She both helps them and also sees Nami, and it's like, I think that's a good way for that to work out, in my opinion. I think it's like it's very cleverly written, where it's like, what's up?
I wanted her letter to go through, though. I was sad at the end.
Through the power of magic.
Yeah. It was, when you say like they because the thing is like we do see members of the Straw Hat crew like interact with like different characters throughout, but when you say don't influence canon events, are you saying like if Nami received the fan letter, her self-esteem would get too high for the next arc?
Like if one of the brothers like blew Luffy's head off, I think it would be a little disruptive to the
of course that
timeline, right?
I was just like, could they not make the letter go into her hands? Or it's like yeah, they cut the scene from the manga where Nami's like, oh, this is sweet. Okay.
I think they're trying to be careful with it because this is in the middle of like an arc that we have seen, right? Like this isn't like in the weeks traveling between islands. This is like we know exactly what the Straw Hats are doing, and we're just seeing it from a different angle. Because like in this actual part of the manga, like they're reuniting, they're fighting the world government a little bit, and then they're setting sail for the New World.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is a really interesting turning point in the series where they have to go underwater to Fishman Island, but to get past this like blockade to enter the second half of the Grand Line, which is like much less tamed than the first half and has like less government control and is where a lot of crazy islands are. And at the very end of that section is the One Piece. Maybe. Probably. Allegedly.
What was the deal with the big guy and he likes Chopper?
I don't know if that's a real. There's so many Marines, and a lot of them are kind of faceless. I can't remember if that guy's actually a character or not, but I think that he's just a guy who was obsessed with Chopper, which is cute.
It was
And
really
it's
cool.
it's one of the puzzle pieces at the end because he like catches a glimpse of Chopper when he's trying to stop her. Like he's one of the 100 people on the ship trying to stop the girl, and he like sees Chopper for a second. His heart eyes happen, and he's gone. Like that's the end of his part of the story. But I think that's fun, right? Because all of the little pieces come together to get her to successfully do what she's trying to do, right? Like it's like the Marine brother helps her, the Brooke fan like tackles the other Marine guy on accident. The fanboys who are obsessed with the swordsman, like their comics, like block the other Marine brothers' eyes while she's like running past and stealing what they think is the activation code, but it's actually just her fan letter. Like it's cute, it's fun. It's a little Looney Tunes, but I like it.
When when Chopper, the real Chopper, is reading the thing about Frankie being like missing and he's gonna die, and he's being convinced of it. Is he just being like, even though Frankie's like
an idiot?
Yeah, is he dumb? I thought he was a doctor.
In this arc, Chopper's particularly dumb. There's a moment that they show in fan letter where there's like these fake straw hats that are like running around. Like you see, like she's looking at it at one point. She's like, "That person's ugly. They're not actually Nami." Anyone could tell that. But there's this crew that's pretending to be the Straw Hat Pirates, and Chopper is so dumb that he comes back to like reunite with the real Straw Hats at the same spot, and he starts like following the fake ones, and he's like, "Everyone looks so different now." Chopper's just a little stupid sometimes.
Oh, I didn't realize he was. I thought he was a smart dog. I thought he was like Stewie from Family Guy. I thought he was like a little smart, like little.
He's
guy.
a smart doctor, but he doesn't. He's not always like smart about other things.
I see. Yeah.
The only like smart, like all around smart character on the crew, I guess Jinbei is pretty smart and doesn't have any like weird like things that make him dumb. But then Robin is very smart. Although she has her own quirks that are fun. Like she likes cute things, but she has a weird sense of taste, basically. Yeah.
Also, I like when Zoro was getting really mad in the bar and when they're talking about him. It was really good.
That series to me, or that scene feels very meta because they're like power scaling. They're doing what every One Piece fan does, which is like, no, this person's stronger. No, this person's stronger.
Yeah. Like that felt
like shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was people arguing about that. And I like that Sanji doesn't get to be part of the conversation.
Because he's not a swordsman. He kicks people. That's what he does.
Really? Is that what he's called? Black Lick Sanji?
Yes, it is. Because he wears like long black pants and he kicks people. Do you know why he kicks people instead of like fighting normally or with a weapon? Because his hands. He wants to preserve them for cooking. So that's why his style is kicking.
Perfect kneading hands. That's cool.
Yes.
Dang.
He preserves them for his true passion, which is making delicious meals.
Yeah.
Were there any particular like scenes or like little side characters or people who like jumped out at you watching? Like, do you have a favorite?
Favorite? I mean,
the internet's obsessed with the comic book shop owner because her design's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. I liked her. Like, I liked the whole concert like thing that they had going on there. And I liked the whole thing about like whenever she gets sad. Oh, okay, that was a big thing. What was the deal with like the pink lady and like a bunch of people get like she's draining their energy, I guess?
Her devil fruit is it makes this little ghost guy that like if it passes through you, you just get depressed. She's a side character that they fought in like the horror themed arc of One Piece where they go to like an island full of zombies. But she later on becomes friends with Zoro and Dracula Mihawk. And she's like traveling with Zoro during the time skip, like back to meet the crew. So like they arrive at this island together. And so that's why she's just in town.
Ooh. Are they like...
And that's a great example of like, I love that character. She's one of my favorite weird side characters, but like she starts out as a villain, as like a little like side villain in another villain's army. and then she gets like disappeared by another villain or another antagonist character, and it's like, did she die? Was she teleported away? That character later on splits the Straw Hats up by teleporting them into different places, and so like you learn what that character's power actually does, but you first see it happen to her. Where she got sent to is Dracula Mihawk's castle, which is like a Transylvania-looking place, which is where Zorro ends up in the time skip to train under the person he wants to one day defeat. And so then they have like a weird little friendship, and people also ship them together.
Oh, okay.
And then the two of them ends up
that's my burning question.
on the island.
Is it like a...
Yes.
Whoa. Wait, Dracula Mihawk...
Zorro has no interest in love. He's just like, I want to be a good swordsman, but he has multiple characters who like are in love with him, or there's paths he could go down, but he's just like, no, I want to hold a sword in my mouth and beat Mihawk.
Is it that Dracula Mihawk trains Zorro to beat his own ass?
Yes.
Whoa.
But he has not fought Mihawk like they have not had their rematch as of yet, as far as we know.
I feel like Dracula Mihawk's a really cool character. I think he is
a very cool character.
The best character from One Piece, and
also currently he's in a really weird spot in the manga right now, where he's working with Buggy the Clown, who is like the first person Luffy fights, or one of the first people Luffy fights in the manga, who's this loser character who has like failed upward throughout the entire series, and it's just like you can track his progress parallel to Luffy's. And he's this weird one-off devil fruit user who just becomes more and more and more important in the world, even though he sucks and he's like terrible. Ooh. Like Luffy defeats him, and he defeats him twice, and then he ends up in prison, and then there's a prison break arc where it's like, hey, remember me? And it's like, not really. And he's sad. And then it's one of the best jokes in One Piece where he's like, I'm going to use my special buggy ball technique. You remember me using that against you, right? And he's like, oh, no. And he just like has this amazing shot where he just like looks like crestfallen. He's like, oh. But he breaks out of prison with Luffy, and so then he gains this reputation. Like basically all of Luffy's deeds, or a lot of them, are mistakenly transferred to Buggy in like the opinions of the world, and so people think he's just this great pirate. He sucks,
man.
And currently Dracula Mihawk's working with him, which is fun. There's a lot going on.
So wild.
And he doesn't have an eye patch either, but he does have a rubber red nose.
I mean, yeah, that would track. I feel like I've seen him.
He's a clown.
Before. I don't know if I've ever seen Dracula Mihawk. This is gonna be. I gotta rate Dracula Mihawk's appearance. I think that's the only way that we can
take a look.
I'm taking a look.
He's got a giant sword that looks like a cross. He's got yellow eyes. He's got a cool hat, cool goatee.
Let's see, Dracula Mihawk.
And when he fought Zorro, he fought him with like a penknife, which was really
disrespectful. Oh, look at him!
He's really cool.
Whoa, his sword is like a cross. Wow.
He's not bad. It's not a bad look, I'll be honest.
Dang.
Because he's one of the 7 warlords, and most of them look really weird and stupid.
Dang.
In ways I love, but...
He's crazy. All right. Good guy.
Am I successfully incepting into you the desire to read One Piece?
Yeah, I definitely feel like the desire to read One Piece came from myself, so I think you're doing a pretty good job, like planting it in my soul. Yeah, no, definitely cool. I'm reaffirmed in why you like enjoy this series. Like, it seems like a fun ride, and probably
it is a fun ride.
More rewarding than Naruto, so
I would say so, even though Naruto was my first, right? I love it, but boy, does it not have the consistency. And like, the thing about One Piece that I love is it always feels like it's going somewhere. Like, and that's something from the outside looking in. I was like, there's no way that like this series that's been running for 20 something years is gonna like pay off, right?
Yeah.
Having now read all of it and being up to date, I feel like payoff's coming. Like I'm bought in, because there's been little payoffs throughout, and like the most recent arc was just this huge info dump where they got to a character that's been talked about for like literally 15 years of real time. Like, it's like this character got brought up a million years ago, and it's like, oh man, we gotta go meet Vegapunk. They finally met Vegapunk, and he's weird, and he's got a big head, but he knows so much, and they told them so much, and you just... It trickles out information in really satisfying ways, while the actual journey is really fun as well. But boy, those mysteries, they light up my brain like I'm eating chocolate as a child or something. I don't know.
It's like the severance of anime.
It's like the severance of anime. I turn my real life off, and I'm suddenly on the Grand Line with my pirate friends.
There you go.
Have I ever told you about the Will of D?
The lies
So
of
you mentioned you kept wanting to talk about Luffy's full legal name of Monkey D. Luffy, right? Well, for seemingly random reasons, a lot of characters in One Piece have the D initial. And they're not related all the time, although some of them are. Like
Goldie Roger.
Luffy's dad and grandfather both have the D, like Monkey D. Garp. Gold Roger is actually Gol, Gol.
I know this.
D. Roger.
I'm big on this. That's crazy.
Blackbeard is Marshall D. Teach.
What?
There's a lot of like good and bad characters have the D initial.
Whoa.
And it's not clear why, but it is important. And it's certain characters have referenced the will of D. And basically characters who have the initial of D, generally speaking, stand in opposition to the gods, is like the line. And so, which means like they stand in opposition to like the world order of One Piece, which is like the world government, and then the people who sit atop the world government, which are
God,
the celestial dragons. No, they're these weird noble class that suck. They're like these terrible people who wear like fishbowl heads and stuff. They suck.
Whoa.
But what is it? Why are these people showing up, and what do they have to do with? There's a century in One Piece history that's just vanished. They call it the Void Century or the Blank Century. It's like, 800 BC to 700 BC. We just don't know what happened. All of the history of that time has been erased. Why? Like, there's just things like that One Piece just sprinkles in, and you're like, what's going on there? Why are there giants? Why are there people... There's the long arm tribe and the long leg tribe. They're just people who look like they like got stretched in MS Paint or in Photoshop. There's people who there's an army of robots on the moon. There's these stone tablets that tell the real history of the Void Century that are hidden throughout the world. There's all kinds of crazy stuff, and it's also, of course, at the end of the day, the One Piece is something, and it's there, and if you get it, something will happen, probably. But what does that mean? I don't know. Why did Roger go there and leave it there? I don't know.
Like nothing, and you're like, the journey, and you're like,
Oda has said it is not the friends we made along the way.
Really?
Confirmed. Because people kept asking him, and he's like, it's not that.
Wouldn't he say that if it was the friends?
The One Piece is something.
Okay.
But what? I don't know.
It's the other Straw Hat. Oh, I had a question. Does the other pirates in One Piece wear straw hats at any point?
Luffy's straw hat was formerly Shanks' straw hat. And it's actually not his hat. It's on loan from Shanks. Shanks gave it to him and said, give it back to me one day.
Whoa.
And then Luffy named his pirate crew after it. And it's his his Jolly Roger and all this.
Is he going to give it back to Shanks?
Luffy and Shanks have never met again since the first chapter of the series.
Damn.
They have there's multiple, at this point it's getting ridiculous, and I made fun of it in my video I made last year. They've been ships passing in the night 5 times. They've been on opposite ends of a battle, or I'm pretty sure that's Shanks over there. I'm pretty sure that's Luffy over there, but they have not met.
Ugh.
because they're not supposed to meet until Luffy becomes a great pirate. And at this point, Luffy is on the level of Shanks, so they're going to meet. They're currently on the same island, so it's like about to happen. And this arc that we're in right now has a lot to do with Shanks. But Shanks and Luffy have not met since the first chapter, which I really like. I really like the first chapter of One Piece. I think it sets up their dynamic really well. And it's like, I remember reading it and being like, God damn it, now I want to read the rest of the series because I want to see them reunite. And they still haven't. And I've been reading this series for 5-6 years now. That's not true. I've been reading it for 4.5 years. And it's been going for 27. So
Yeah. Also, when you said that, that's crazy because I'm older than 27 not by a hair, by a smidgen.
I believe this series, if I remember correctly, it might have started in 95, but I think it started in 97. I think it started the month I was born. Like,
whoa. So it was your destiny to document it.
It is my destiny. Let me figure this out real quick because it's funny.
From the day you were born until now, Luffy and Shanks.
Yeah, it started in July 1997.
Whoa. So, like, literally...
So did me. So did
I. You were born, Shanks and Luffy parted ways, and they're still not back together.
I was born, and, like, 2 weeks later, Luffy and Shanks, like, had their fateful time together in Luffy's childhood.
Crazy. Do you think you'll be whole when they get back together?
I think all die. Like, all, like, vanish. Like Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future. Like,
just like a single tear, and like it.
I close the book, and I'm just like, it's over.
Yeah.
And Sam was never really there.
You. Whoa, that's crazy.
Like the room has always been empty. Like the shelf like is empty behind me, and yeah, One Piece is cool. I really hope it ends before Oda dies. That'd be really annoying if he died.
You might think it's cool, but it's time for me to tell you how cool it is.
Exactly. Is there anything else you want to talk? We haven't dived into fan letter specifically that much. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we jump into rankings?
That's the thing. I feel like it's a little hard to discuss too much of the fan letter itself directly because it's very much in
24 minutes long
to One Piece, and it's like there's beyond like looks pretty. It's like, you know, we get it, but I like things that look pretty. So I think that I'm definitely feeling positive. Did you have anything else you wanted to cover before we jump into the tiers?
Just that it's a really cool concept for an OVA. Like, I'm not a big OVA guy. I don't like non-canon parts, like adaptations of series that I'm reading for the most part. But this is the right way to do it, which is to be like, let's just explore the world from a different perspective. And I think it's really cool and neat.
Yes.
How does the ant feel when the giant feet are stomping around?
There you go. Well, this ant feels like it was pretty good, and that I haven't looked at my tiers for a while, but it's deluxe and then cute, right? It's sitting in there, you know. It's sitting around there.
Has anything made it to deluxe tier yet?
Yeah,
Dandadan
is in deluxe because Dandadan's cool. I feel like it could be in deluxe potentially because I feel like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just cool. I can't think of a reason to put it below.
It made you
deluxe.
Cry, and you don't even like One Piece. Or
yeah,
you
it
never
made me tear up like a couple times a little bit, and I had to suck the tears back into my face because I'm really cool. And I didn't want to show weakness for even a moment, you know, because they'll descend on me, you know. So I would say that, yeah. I mean, like, for what it is, absolutely, I think it deserves the deluxe tier.
I'm shocked. I thought it was gonna be cute for sure.
I mean, it is quite literally cute, but I'm feeling deluxe about it.
Now I feel bad that I gave twice a D.
And yeah, this guy's crazy about and
Well, so Mallory, I made you watch One Piece. What are you going to make me watch?
Well,
here we are again.
Here we are again. Here's the thing. I've been very selfish in my picks so far, and it's like, I mean, my first like two, I think I was batting 1,000, but I think that, you know, like the more recent ones, like I've been very much just picking self-indulgent things that I like, and I don't really have any sense that you would enjoy. Thought Heartstopper might do a little better, but you know, we don't have.
Couldn't break the cold heart of Sam that it can only be defeated by One Piece.
But yeah, I thought a lot about it, and I think really, honestly, what I want to do is like get into something that neither of us have gotten into. I think that is really my main thing with this pitch. Like I want
Amelia Perez 2. What's going to happen
together? And I think that Amelia Perez 2 is going to be just the perfect. Yeah. So how do you feel about Beyonce, Sam?
Beyonce?
Yeah.
Are we listening to Cowboy Carter? Is that what's happening?
No, we're gonna be listening to Lemonade by Beyonce and watching any accompanying.
Are we watching it or
videos.
okay?
Wait, okay. Well, I don't even know. Is it? Do you watch it?
It has like I think like 15-minute music video that like plays like the most important songs from the album, right?
Okay, because I knew that there was a lot of music video stuff associated with it. All right. Well, I didn't research my pitch enough. I was pretty deep in the Wikipedia article. I thought I was safe. I think we should watch all the videos and listen to it. And that's what I think.
Okay.
I think we should do that. And even though you've already listened to it, I haven't. I only listened to a little bit of it. One time I was like driving and my friend was like, you have to watch this, and I was driving, so I only saw a little bit of it.
So you wrecked the car and you killed both of you.
Yeah, and now
now you are a spirit. Now you're a little ghost in our logo.
And now I fly through people and make them depressed. So yeah, that's
so this is a podcast first. You're pitching me something I've seen and you haven't. Like,
this is what I was afraid of.
New territory.
This is what I wanted to avoid, but I think it'll be fine because like it'll be good and we can get into it. And it's probably like even though you've watched it, I don't necessarily peg you as like as a part of the Beehive.
A Beehive head? Yeah, no, not particularly.
Beehive head, a onceler. So I think it'll be good for us to both engage with artists where we're not necessarily super fans of, but is also objectively good. And there's no way you could get mad at me about this pitch. It was basically my thought.
I still think you're trying to kill me because you're like, all right, we're going to get into K-pop last week, and this week we're going to get into Beyonce. Is like Nicki Minaj next or Taylor Swift? Like, I feel like you're pitting
Nicki
me
Minaj
against like the most ravenous fan bases. I know, but you're like, these are areas of the internet that people are very particular about. And you're like, let's talk about it in like an uneducated way.
As long as you're right and cool, no one will care.
Yeah, but I have to know what people think is right. You know what I mean?
No,
or else I'll be killed.
No. You just figure it out yourself. You just show up. You show up at the function. You say whatever you feel like, and you'll probably be fine.
Okay. I'm afraid.
Well.
Yeah, yo.
I can't wait to take a sip next week.
Every week I think you're gonna do better, and you just don't.
Have a good day, Sam.
Have a good evening, Mallory. We're done.